What's up, my rock stars? I hope you guys are doing wonderful out there. Today we're going to talk about the most powerful light in the world. No, I'm totally kidding. Let's see if it comes back. There it goes. That light was way too bright. I am totally kidding. Today we're going to actually talk about a couple records, and specifically 4 records. I'm just going to kind of go over them. So just reminiscing about what started for me as far as music that impacted me in my life. Before we get to the 4 records, I want to say that my mother and my great-grandmother, she lived a long time, my great-grandmother, those two had the most massive influence on me in my life when it came to music and what I gravitated to, my likings, and also the way I understood music. I'll tell you why. My mom loved the club scene. She went to the club scene, but we lived in San Francisco at the time. I'm sorry, outside of San Francisco, probably about 30 minutes away outside of San Francisco, but my mom was still always at the clubs. And just on the weekends, you know, it was like every day my mom was out partying or anything like that. My mom was still young at the time when we were younger, and she would come home and she would play some of the bangers and some of the best stuff. She would tell us, like, this, you know, this is what music, that's the good music out there right now. And she would take us to the beach on Sunday mornings, and she would play music all the way going to the beach. And I remember the music she was playing was just like, it would just keep me quiet, and I would just totally enjoy that music. And I was sitting in the back and I would enjoy that music. I loved the music my mom played, and she would play the music she was hearing the night before in the club, or music that she just really enjoyed. And that had a huge influence on me. The other person that had a huge influence on me was my great-grandmother. I grew up with my great-grandmother for some time, going back and forth with my mom and my great-grandmother. We had a lot of struggles during that time, so we had to actually go live with my great-grandmother, and my mom was doing the best that she could. So my great-grandmother always took us to church. I mean, there was times that we went to church, not just on Sundays, but we went to church maybe on a Tuesday, a Wednesday, or even a Thursday, and sometimes even Saturdays. It wasn't quite often, but I know for sure we were almost always at, and I say we, it was me and my older brother. Most of the time it was me, but on a Wednesday and a Sunday, we were most of the time at church, Wednesday and Sunday. Church was part of my life, I think, up until maybe I was about 12 years old, after my great-grandmother passed away. What I do remember in church is my grandmother on some type of instrument, and she would always hand me the tambourine, and she just said, "Here, just use it towards the beat of the music." And it was just like, it was just different ways to do it, and it was just, I would just have fun with it. And I knew when the music came on, it was time to get loud and make sure that rhythm matched the beats to the church music. It was mostly gospel music. So gospel music is so engraved in my soul. I love gospel music. I tell people I actually enjoy gospel music, and I mean like the raw, rough, natural, homegrown gospel music. When I tell people that, they kind of look at me like, really? Yeah, man, that was all credits to my great-grandmother. So let's get to the 4 records. Subliminal Records. Subliminal Records. Does anybody remember Subliminal Records out there? I have quite a bit of these. This one is Ministry de la Funk, featuring Jocelyn Brown. The title is Believe. I'm going to do my very best. I'm sorry, the light's too bright. You can see that. Believe. I'm going to do my very best to go ahead and put the links to the description of these 4 tracks and, down in the description below, so you can hear them. You can go watch the video and listen to them. But Believe, Ministry de la Funk, featuring Jocelyn Brown. At the time, probably the 2 headliners from Subliminal was Jose Nunez, Harry Chocho Romero. Chucho was his nickname, Harry Romero. Also Eric Moore Murillo. Moore was his also kind of a nickname, Eric Murillo, on double platinum record. Now I remember seeing Eric Murillo and Eric Murillo and Harry Romero at Club Universe in San Francisco. Club Universe is closed now. I think they turned them into kind of like apartment buildings or something like that. But I remember watching those guys. Incredible. I think they were on maybe 4 or 6 or techniques that night. At the time, there was no CDJs; there was just techniques. But I remember it was kind of, they were debuting, they were doing traveling around, and they were debuting the Subliminal records. Subliminal was pumping out a lot of tracks early 90s, and Subliminal always put out the bangers. If you threw a Subliminal record down in the 90s, it would pack the dance floors, guaranteed. I mean, they were throwing out bangers every time. Every DJ had Subliminal, and they were busting out Subliminal records. Incredible, incredible. I loved it. I had a lot of good moments on the dance floor, and I'm a dancer. I can tear it up, and I'm not ashamed to say it because I can. But Subliminal records, man, I had some really good moments and probably some of my best dance moves on the dance floor listening to Subliminal records. Yoshitashi Records. Yoshitashi Records. This particular record, Tock, there is a side A and a side B. The very first time I heard Tock, and I want to tell you the names of them. This side, there's one says this side, and the other one says other side, or flip side. Apocalypse Now mix, and the flip side says War of the Worlds mix. The Apocalypse Now mix is the first time I ever heard the Tock record off Yoshitashi Records. It was at a desert rave in California, Southern California. Went with a bunch of friends. I want to say like 7 different friends, and we obviously met thousands of other friends that were there, or just acquaintances at the time, but they were friends too. And I heard a DJ. It was one of our favorite DJs out in the underground scene in California, and his name was DJ Carlos. He went to the UK for quite some time, went to Japan, and he's actually back in Los Angeles now. He's doing kind of like the smaller circuit scene, underground scene there. But DJ Carlos played that record. He was huge at the time, very, very huge. He probably still is now. I haven't really followed up too much with him other than what I know that he's in Los Angeles now. But he actually played that track. And it sounds, and you remember the movie Apocalypse, it sounds like a helicopter coming down out of the sky. What he did is he actually came down in a helicopter out of the sky in the middle of the desert. And it just dust stormed all the way up. Thousands of people were out there in the middle of this desert. I mean, it was like a miniature-sized Burning Man. Probably just as big. I think they over-exaggerated the Burning Man, the size of them now. And he actually came out of the helicopter, walked into the DJ booth. The helicopter took off, and he played this record. And it was the sound of the helicopter coming down from Apocalypse Now. Incredible. And I just almost like, and this was like at 6 a.m. in the morning. The sun is coming up over the horizon, and people were just kind of dying out. It literally brought the entire thousands of people all together back again, and it just went on and on. It looked like it was about to end, and it completely started all over again, and then it was like the party was never going to end, and the sun just continued to rise. It was incredible. First time I heard that song, Tock, on Yoshitashi Records. Stardust. Many of you should know this one. Stardust, Music Sounds Better With You. They were a French record label, and the record came out about 1995. The unique thing about this particular version, the original version of the Stardust, is that, and I'd like to proudly say it's still in pristine condition, probably a little bit of my fingerprints. It had a couple messages on the back where there was a non-print side, a non-printed side. This is the side that where the roulette side is, where the side where the song was on. Music Sounds Better With You, roulette, Stardust. And on the non-print side, it has a message. I'm going to go ahead and read that to you. Each of them were unique, and they had their own little number to them. And I'm going to go ahead and read that to you now on this particular unique one. And it says, "Love might bring us back together." And on the other side, it says, "Music sounds better with you." Okay. And let's see, there is a unique number on it. And this one had the location of where it was pressed and the last name of the person who pressed it. This was pressed at The Exchange. Last name is Nilz, N-I-L-Z. And it's roulette code or serial number, whatever number, distinguished number. is 305A. That is Stardust. Music sounds better with you. Whenever this record came on, a DJ can throw it on 5 times a night, and it continued to pack the dance floor. It was incredible. It wasn't just in my local area. I mean, it traveled up and down California. At the time, it was probably just in California, but it packed the dance floors. I've heard some of the biggest names, DJs fly from across the country to play this, pack the dance floor. I played it in a small location when I was just kind of like a new and upcoming DJ, and I packed the dance floor. It was just incredible. Last but not least, Diana Ross presents the Jackson 5. By all means, I wasn't born at this time, and it wasn't a record that I played all the time or anything like that, but it is a very unique record, and it has a lot of history behind it. I do keep it with me. I found it at Rasputin Records out in California for $1.95. I'm not sure if you can see that. For $1.95. Still has the date on it, October 23rd. I can't read the year on it. Something like that. It just says October 23rd on it. And the unique thing about this, I want to say, it was, when did the record come out? I don't know. I'll look at it. Maybe I'll put the link into the song. Maybe one song on here. There's many songs on this track. Let me read some of them to you. Zippity Doodah, I Want You Back, Can You Remember? You've Changed, My Cherie Amour, Who's Loving You? Oh, I love that one, Who's Loving You? Reach Out, I'm Losing You. I Know I'm Losing You. Great record. There's a picture on the back of the Jackson 5 at the bottom there, and a picture of Diana Ross talking to Michael Jackson when he was just a child. Now, there's a little bit of a history behind this. Diana says she was the one who found Jackson 5. Realistically, she was not the one who just found Jackson 5. Let me just look at my phone real quick. Give me 1 second. That's it. I know this kind of the story behind it. I always forget the guy's name. I had to look it up. Weldon McDougall. So Weldon McDougall. And they were founded out of Gary, Indiana. That's where they were originally from. But Weldon McDougall was the one who originally, if you go and you can Google the story, who found the Jackson 5, you'll kind of read Weldon McDougall was the one who actually found them. And it was kind of by chance, but it was also the push of their father as well, Mr. Jackson. I wanted to share those with you, and I will let you know also, this is Tuesday Talks, so I'll most definitely be talking about, things. It could be anything, and maybe giving you some real talk, some real raw, hard information that's going to be coming soon, so stay tuned. And also on Tuesday, like I said before, if you saw in the description on the other video that we need to talk, Tuesday will also be gig logs as well too. So if I don't talk to you, it may be a gig log I throw up there, and things of that nature. Okay, or also because we talk with music, that's what we do as DJs, or you should be talking with music, telling your story when you're DJing, depending on your setting. I may talk also with a mix or something like that. So I just want to let you know this is Tuesday Talks. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. Tomorrow's going to be Wedding Wednesdays. Thursday is going to be our lighting decor ideas. Stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching. This is DJ Rocky, and love and respect all people and all things living. Take care.